Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybrooke Family Farm. Today I wanted to show you all of the goat area and the chicken area that I did the day before yesterday. I would have showed you guys this yesterday, but it was extremely windy and there would have been no good sound on the video, and there's woods all around me and I didn't want to get squished underneath a tree if it decided to fall down. So we are at the back door of the barn. This is where the goats will come in and out through the barn. Where that hole is right over there, I'm gonna make that be a bigger hole for the chickens to come out of, the chickens and the ducks. So I'll have to make like a little ramp for them to, get in and out and stuff, because it's a couple feet up off the ground. Down where there's the seam over here, there is like a 2x6 that is structural for the barn. It runs horizontally across. So I have to kind of stay above that, so that way I don't have to piddle with there's a squirrel running up the tree over there. Anyways, so I don't have to mess with anything with the structure. I can just take some of this OSB off, cut a hole into it, and then make it super simple. So I got virtually all of the fence posts up. So I'm gonna walk and show you guys the goats area. So the goats and the chickens are going to be right beside each other. So there's going to be an inner row of I don't know why I'm saying 2x stuff. It's been a lot of sleepless nights since we started all of this. I've been working pretty much non-stop on picking up trash and stuff like that out here. So it's getting to the point where things are getting jumbled, words are getting jumbled in my brain. But we push forward. So anyways, there is 2 rows of T-posts. So there's a row here, and then further back there's another row. So that further back area is going to be the chickens area, and then there's a closer area here that is going to be for the goats. So the goats will have a nice paddock. So there's some down trees and stuff like that in here for them to play on. So they'll really thoroughly enjoy that. And then it comes, I'll just slowly turn so you can see. We have the end of the fencing stopping right now before these downed logs right here. Just because I don't have a big chainsaw. I don't have much experience with a chainsaw. And I don't have the time to really mess with them. So that is definitely a summertime project, because the property line goes pretty far back that way. I don't imagine on camera that you could see the property line stake, but there's a little pink flag somewhere over yonder. So it goes back quite a bit further. So as we're here for longer, like in the summertime and stuff, we'll make it so that way the pastures for the goats is doubled in size as to what it is right now. But this is because we raise the Nigerian dwarf goats. We do have enough space in here for them, and on camera it looks very different than the size of it in real life. So that is what I did Friday. But also on Friday, my parents came out. I have briars stuck on in my leg right now. So just hold on. And they're everywhere. There was a bunch of multiflora roses back here, and sorry you guys just see my whole hand. There was a whole bunch of roses and like raspberries and things like that back here, so I had to cut a bunch of it down, and that's some of the goats' favorite food to eat on. So I threw it all right in the pasture area, and I was not looking when I stepped over this small log over here, and yeah, got some in my leg. And I do not have jeans on. I have just like jogging pants on, so that was a little bit painful. But anyways, so my parents came out on Friday to help us get some things cleaned up. So my mom, she cleaned up some of the kitchen and stuff. There was a ton of rat poop, so she's absolutely terrified of rodents. So that was kind of fun that she had to face her fears. And I found a dead mouse still in a trap, and I was walking it out of the house, and right now there's only one door that's functional. So I was walking it out, and she took off like half jogging, half running type thing, and was like running towards the door. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Get it away from me! Get it away from me! Get it out of here!" And I'm like, "You're running towards the only door in the house. Like, stop running, and I'll go right past you." But so that was a fun moment. But so yeah, so that happened, and then my dad was working on trying to get the well up and running and functional. So there was a bit of a snafu with that. After getting it going, I'm gonna try to find a place to sit down. My arm's getting tired from holding the phone up like this. So after getting it going and getting power to it, we realized that it wasn't working. So the pump was working. It had electricity, and I'll just sit right here on this roll of fencing. That'll be comfy. Okay, so the pump was working. It was getting power. The motor was running, but no water was coming out. So we messed with it for a while, and then realized that the pump was actually cracked. So that led us to discover that when the people moved out of here last June, they'd never drained any of the water out of the pump. So when it froze this winter, it broke the pump. So we had to go and buy a new pump. So he came back out yesterday to work on installing it. So I was doing that with him all day yesterday, so I did not get a chance to film anything that I did inside. I worked on that. Willie worked on painting his room, so he's got the first 2 coats of the red done. So that's going to shape up nicely. And then I also started rewiring the bathroom. So a lot of the wiring here is really just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I think that whoever left all of the beer cans and the beer bottles everywhere probably was the same person that did the electrical and the plumbing here. Like, it is just, it's a head scratcher, the whole thing. It's just kind of like, oh, well, let's not cut things to the right length, and we'll just try to bend PVC pipe. Like, it's just crazy. And then the wiring's just, it's silly how it was all done. So I'm trying to do it all right the first time and redoing as much of it as I can. So I started working on that, and then once we got the well pump all hooked up, primed, I had to figure out how to do that. It's kind of comical because in order to get water, you have to have water to get the water to prime it. So that was kind of comical. But there's a spring on the property, so I was able to get water from the spring for that. So that was neat. But so we got the pump going, we got water going, and then water was really going. Everything that has plumbing in it, all of those pipes have burst. So where the washer comes up, where the line for the washer comes up through the basement floor to the addition area to the kitchen, which I'll show you guys that later today, it was basically like a sprinkler system going off. The kitchen sink, the copper fittings at the bottom underneath the sink, like where it comes up and turns into the flexible sink thingies. I don't know the terminology for this. Tracy's the one that does the plumbing stuff in this household. So it was leaking at those fittings. It was just like spraying water all over the floor. So we had a bit of a swimming pool in our kitchen area yesterday, and then the bathroom sink also was leaking. I assume that the tub is probably going to be the same thing. So Tracy didn't get much accomplished here yesterday because she had gone to Lowe's 2 or 3 different times, and then she put like over 200 miles on the car yesterday, just going back and forth between like home repair stores and hardware stores and all sorts of stuff. So it was a very, very long day for her and for me and for my poor dad, who had to come out 3 days in a row to help. My parents live almost an hour away, so it's a lot of driving. So yeah, so the plan for today is Tracy's going to work on replumbing the entire house. Thankfully, there's only one bathroom. It's all on the main level, so there's nothing crazy that has to be done. So she's going to run new cold lines for everything. So then that way, in the next like 24 hours after the glue seals, then we at least have cold water to wash our hands off, because that's something that's hard with doing all this level of work is, with doing the fencing and working on the barn and other stuff, your hands get filthy doing this. So it'd be nice to have some cold water to rinse them off, and, common sense stuff for cold water. And flushing the toilet. That'd be nice, so we don't have to keep peeing in the woods. Thankfully there's lots of privacy out here. So she's going to do that today. Me and Willie are going to work on doing some fencing since it's so nice out. And then I'm also going to work on finishing up the electrical in the bathroom. I figure that since we're planning on living here for the rest of our lives, we should really try to slowly start working on redoing everything, bringing everything back to the way that we actually need it to be and the quality that we want our home to have. So we're trying to do everything right the first time. So my plan for the electrical is, as we change out lights and do different things like that in each room through the renovation, I'm going to also work on redoing the electrical all at that same time, just so then that way, it's all good, it's all safe, everything is the way that it ought to be. The way that the electrical is right now, it is safe. It's just, it's old. So the plans for us moving forward is to just continuously try to keep bringing things up to the way that they ought to be, and make this house be the best home that it ever possibly could be. So yeah, it's costly, but it's wiser and more cost effective to do it now than to wait 5 years down the line, or anything like that. Because if we're already going to be opening up the ceiling to put in a different light or to add a light, we might as well just run new wire with it too. So all right, I gotta get busy. So if you are enjoying this content and enjoying watching our journey and looking at what we're doing and how we're doing it and all that stuff, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to our channel. The way that making the videos and stuff like that works, we don't make anything off of this at all. This is just so that way we can document it for ourselves and to show other people. Once we have a lot more subscribers, I think the magic number is like 1,000 or something like that. Like right now we have 36. Once we have over 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube will say, oh, hey, we can give you guys some money now because enough people watch you. So everything that we're filming right now is just, it's not making us anything at all, except it's helping us to bring people along and make some enjoyable content for us and for other people. So that's it right now. So anybody that subscribes and stuff really helps us to grow physically, and eventually it'll also help grow our business. So that's why I always try to remind everybody to subscribe, just so then that way it can genuinely help us grow, more than just emotionally and providing fulfillment that way. So that's my spiel about that. But yeah, so if you enjoy this content and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to help us out, and like the videos that you see and share them on your social media, so that way we can try to get more people in on this. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. See you later.